Yes, hello friends, what's happening? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, that's me. I hope you're doing well, mate. I do genuinely, really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea news / preview for our game this weekend. Of course, I think we're going to Goodison to play Everton, who have just slapped up Newcastle 3-0, 3-0. Yes, the very same Newcastle who'd recently molested us for 4-1. I know. Yeah. Football's a funny game, though. Who knows what will happen? Inconsistencies. Very, very frustrating. This is where we are. Of course, Pochettino has spoken in his pre-match press conference. Still, I don't know what he's supposed to say. Like, I do understand his position is tricky. I'm not sure exactly what he's supposed to be saying to offer confidence to everyone asking questions, journalists, fans, just people. But he seems to sort of just give generic answers of like, yeah, we are so close, yeah, we can challenge for top 4, all this. But we're not seeing any of that. And this is a recurring theme for us frustrated fans that perhaps just want a little bit more illumination, insight from either himself, the manager, or the sporting directors. Aren't they, historically sporting directors supposed to come out and communicate with media and fans about the project or the process? Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I thought. And maybe I'm naive to think that that's a plausible thing right now and that will help them and us, and, I'm not so sure. But anyway, we're going to speak about that. We're also going to speak about Daily Mail, talking about how Todd Boehly has taken a step back from Chelsea. And I've built a lineup to take on Everton, and I'll show you that, and we'll talk about the game a little bit as well. So I thank you, as always, for joining me. I'm very grateful for the Football Therapy community, and you can be part of said community simply by subscribing and hitting that bell notifications icon. Ding! Right then, let's quickly talk about this article from the Daily Mail. We'll talk about, perhaps what Pochettino said a bit more regarding this game and Chelsea's poor form. I'd say it's poor form, despite that win against Brighton in between a couple of losses against good teams. Well, good teams. Newcastle are a good team, but they just lost 3-0 to the Everton we're going to play. And Man United are just not a good team. So that's embarrassing. The Daily Mail writes, Todd Boehly takes a step back. His long absences from Chelsea this season have been noted by players and staff. The co-owner attended last week's Premier League win over Brighton at Stamford Bridge, but was not at Wednesday's defeat by Manchester United, and has only been to a handful of home games all season. A handful of home games all season is still probably a lot more than any other owners, or certainly the American and international owners. And it's probably noteworthy because he was at almost every game last season. Sources close to Todd Boehly insist that he always intended to take a step back to focus on other business interests after acting as a de facto sporting director for much of last season, and that his enthusiasm for Chelsea is undimmed. So still really is excited to own Chelsea and make it work, but not all over the gaff and everywhere. A reminder that actually Todd Boehly tried to buy Chelsea many years before we went up for sale. This is an important reminder that this guy didn't just pop up as an American businessman opportunist. Granted, that's probably ultimately why he tried to buy Chelsea in the first place, but it wasn't like, you remember when Chelsea went up for sale, loads of people popped up like Steven Pagliuca and the Ricketts family and Saudi Media Group. Chelsea had recently won the Champions League. They're a global brand with massive fan base in, Africa, the Americas and all that kind of stuff. So lots of people wanted Chelsea, but the fact how Todd Boehly had tried to build a consortium to buy Chelsea a few years before where it went up for sale, he approached Roman Abramovich. I think Roman sort of waved him away because Roman was always apparently loosely listening. Even though Chelsea was never for sale, he was kind of loosely listening to offers. I think he probably knew that he was ultimately burning money. Obviously, Chelsea were making horrendous losses under Abramovich. But it didn't matter because it was like a sort of play thing for him, and he just, we all know about his money. So, in, of course, Boehly's absence, co-owner Boehly, Boehly, who manages the 60% stake in the club owned by Clearlake Capital, has taken on an increasingly hands-on role. Yeah, so, of course, Boehly, Big Daddy Bedad, he's more involved in the absence of Todd Boehly. Now, we heard even last season, when everyone still calls, the Chelsea owners Todd Boehly. He was always a minority, stakeholder in Chelsea. But it was like, you hear Jamie Carragher, you hear Gary Neville in TalkSport, and everyone, they talk about Todd Boehly because it's the easy reference point. But yeah, he owns a very small percentage of Chelsea, and the juice is Clearlake Capital, over 60%. And the representative, of course, is Jose Feliciano as well, but it's really Boehly Boehly. So no one says Boehly Boehly when really he's like the Chelsea owner. If you're going to say one guy who owns Chelsea, you say Boehly. But only us Chelsea fans really know that, and no one really else says it in football fandom, football media. I think it's kind of interesting. I've said it before on the channel. I speculated that might have largely been by design. Because Todd Boehly, LA Dodgers, Lakers owners, and just, often speaks publicly. It was just a good face to put to the Chelsea consortium. So I wonder if it was by design. Anyway, interesting to hear he's taken a step back, but Dad is still as involved as ever. I wonder what he's bloody thinking in terms of sorting this mess out at the moment. Speaking of the Chelsea mess, of course, Pochettino was asked loads of questions regarding this in his pre-match press conference today. He's not very convincing, man. Certainly lately, I think he looks like a man under pressure. He sort of says, he's getting a bit more defensive when people are saying, so what's going on with these players? Are they getting better? And he's like, well, they're young players. What do you expect them to get better? And yeah, fine. Are you going to challenge for the top four? We understand that, when you came in. And us as Chelsea fans, we naturally make mental gymnastics okay, yeah, this, that, we're good, we're bad, we need to get him out, no, we need to be realistic. But actually, often the best questions and opinions just come from people that don't support Chelsea. Like these, whether it was Moose from TalkSport, look, you came into Chelsea, everyone thought great squad, great manager, financial backing. Not that you were going to, win the title straight away, but what's going on here? And you just sort of you need that kind of someone to pull your head out of whatever, I was going to make a weird analogy, but it's not going to work. But someone to clear the mist and just be just ask the basic questions, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? What's happening here? Do you know what I mean? We get, my last video, I did a very long video yesterday, I uploaded it, it's half an hour long, where I sort of meticulously go through where Chelsea are, almost on an existential level, from the last kind of decade of being good in the league to not being good in the league for a while. And as I usually do, I'd urge you to watch my previous upload if you haven't seen that, because I really do cover everything. I'd love for Pochettino to watch that video. Do you know what I mean? A reminder of where Chelsea are, where we've been, and fair enough where we're going, but just sort of win football matches, bro. Why are we, who are these players, and why are we getting played through like this, and why are they inconsistent, and is it just an immaturity thing? Still, he spoke about I cover the playing squad, the management, and the ownership, so yeah, I just do go check that out, after this if you get a moment. But in terms of right now, he sort of was saying we will challenge, we will challenge. And I don't know if he means this season we're going to challenge the top 4/5. I mean, that is just crazy business, crazy. Right now, to get in the top 5, you're saying you have to be better than Arsenal. Nope. You have to be better than Liverpool. Absolutely not. You have to be better than Villa. Villa are in 3rd now. We'll learn if that's a false position, which I don't think it is. But, I think they're in Europe as well, so we'll talk again later. There is a chance that they could, drop to, 6th or something. They could. I don't know. They look amazing, so, people are talking about them in the title, which, by the way, if you said Chelsea aren't going to win the league, if I could pick someone to win the league right now, you bet your freaking bottom dollar I'm putting Villa there. Over the likes of our rivals in Arsenal and Liverpool and stuff. Man City are currently #languishing in 4th, but we're not going to finish above Man City. We're not going to finish above Man City. You know, they get Rodri back, they start eating people again. And then, you know, Man United are only like, what, a few points off City? What's going on with Tottenham? They lost again. I do think Tottenham are screwed, personally, which is great fun. You know, so thank you for that football in the dark depths of everything else being poor. But there are other teams that are above us and doing better. I saw on social media, if Everton hadn't got their points deduction, they'd be above us. That's a sickener. And which makes you think even more, like, what if they defeat us this weekend? I'm sure you've seen Pochettino's press conference. He's kind of like rambling a little bit. He's starting to not make sense. He's like, yeah, we will challenge. I don't know when. Fabrizio Romano has reiterated that Chelsea aren't, blinking. They're not talking to other managers. They're not talking to representatives of other managers. That's clear. They want Pochettino to feel comfortable and safe. To be honest, changing manager doesn't, no matter what your position is on Pochettino right now, I think most sensible, lucid people will realise that changing managers isn't going to do anything. I said in my big long form content yesterday that I don't necessarily think Pochettino will ever be the guy to make us win a title, but he could certainly be the guy in between, which he's not being right now. That's obviously better than we are right now, but I do think he can be there. I think he's a bit too chaotic and emotional to be like a consistent Conte, Mourinho, Guardiola, league winner. Do you know what I mean? But I do still think he can make Chelsea good. We're not good, but he can make us good. Let's have a look at the lineup I've built for Goodison. Sadly, it looks like Nkunku will still not be ready. I don't know what's going on with him. I can't be asked to speculate. It's too boring. But so I'm going for this 4-3-3. Of course, Everton play a 4-5-1. They don't like playing with the ball so much, and they don't do ball carries. They try and pass through you and press and work really hard. Now, Sanchez will, of course, remain in goal for Chelsea. Despite Disasi being really, really poor last time out, I think he will start next to Thiago Silva. I know, yes, Thiago Silva keeps playing games, but he doesn't like the problem of late, and provided his recovery is good, which generally it should be, I think he'll play. Of course, if Silva can't play in this position here, you can play Benoit Badiashile. In this position here, you can play Levi Colwill. So let's just say in terms of his recovery, he's been done appropriately, even though there's loads of games. Let's say Silva can play. Reece James starts for me. I feel like he plays better when he starts. Off the bench last time out, I don't think he was great, but I feel like let him start, let him settle into this game, let him feel comfortable on that right-hand side. I'm starting Cucurella over Levi Colwill. I think Colwill's the future. I think he's amazing. I think he's good. But at left back right now, I think we need someone like Cucurella to run up and down and actually... another. I know he's erratic and mental, but he's a closer thing to another grown-up, I think. By the way, happy birthday to both Reece James and Raheem Sterling, Sterling turns 29. I think James is 25 now. He ain't a kid anymore, brother. I think he is. Yeah, he must be 25 now. So the midfield, I'm putting the three amigos back together, despite two of them being dismal last time out. Hopefully the balance can be restored with Caicedo anchoring, Fernandes in the left 8, and Gallagher is being slam dunked, you bet your ass, right back into this lineup. I think him playing as a right number 8 will make Chelsea a lot better. It will make James better. It will make Palmer better. Palmer will play better on the right wing. I know he scored that great goal from the number 10 position, but this triangle here, Gallagher, James, and Palmer, is what we need, essentially, I think, personally. And I'm starting the other birthday boy, Raheem Sterling, over on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. I think we need someone that can, be a little bit more sensible around the box. And then, of course, if we go ahead and we play in transition, then we can bring Mudryk on. And, of course, a big notable change here is I'm starting Breuer over Nico Jackson. Now, an interesting thing here is that, of course, Pochettino loves Nicolas Jackson. And I said this in my Instagram earlier today. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at FootballYannick. One word, of course, at Football Yannick. I heard on the Totally Football show from JJ from Tifo that Nicolas Jackson has listen to this, the second highest expected goals in the Premier League. So think of the top scorers, Haaland with 47 million goals and whatever, like Salah and Hwang and whoever else has got loads of goals. The second highest expected goals is Nicholas Jackson, which tells you two things. One, he's a terrible finisher or really low confidence in his finishing. But two, he's amazing at getting in goal-scoring positions. And there is something to be said for that. We need to be fair to a degree. But it's very frustrating. But despite that, I think Breuer just deserves a chance. He just deserves a chance, but that's an incredible stat. Second highest in the league for any other player for expected goals. Non-penalty expected goals, I should say. But that's what's relevant anyway, because we're talking about a guy getting into goal-scoring positions. Of course, you wouldn't be surprised at all if Jackson starts this game. In theory, he can link up with Palmer and stuff, but very, very frustrating indeed. I do think in terms of substitutions, I think we'll see Mudryk. Pochettino likes Mudryk. He's playing well. I think Mudryk will feature in this game one way or another. Noni Madueke is no longer on the injured list, and also there is a chance we might see Malo Gusto play the last 30 minutes, or who knows, maybe even start and then James comes on. And of course, we could see things like this. We could see Levi Colwill starting at left back. Like we said before, if Silva really is gassed, then of course we can have like a back four like this essentially. And of course, as well, we've only seen them start together in the cup, but you could even see Badiashile. If for some reason Mudryk starts and we want a really fast transition, then like we usually see, Colwill will probably start at left back, and then you could see a back four like this. The Monaco boys, of course, Thiago Silva can still start, but maybe the Monaco boys. So these are the kind of players that will potentially feature. I think Ugachuk was still injured. But, this one untouchable, one non-negotiable is this midfield, finding this really compatible midfield again and juicing up that right-hand side with young Conor Gallagher. Right, I don't want any red cards from any captains. I'm done with that. I suppose we didn't have that at Man United, but I don't know, man. In a way, like, the hope is gone for me, which is terrible. I mean, like, in terms of the top five. I just want to see a football team. I kind of said pre-season, I just want to see a team that can play football together and look like they're developing and, just less erratic, because that's what makes you feel more comfortable in seeing developmental stuff. So let me know what you think. Comment down below. I'm going to say, Jesus Christ. We did win there last season, but I'm just going to say a 2-1 win to Chelsea. We were so bad against Man United. Like, it's probably more sensible to say like a 2-2. And even that is like, friggin' Paul Merson saying Chelsea are going to lose 3-1. Sensible people that don't support either team probably look at this and go, yeah, Chelsea are going to lose. But Gallagher's back. Hopefully we start a couple of players. A 2-1. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. And oh my God, I hope we win. Keep it locked.